So, last Monday we had a session on the topic nurturing healthy relationship with family and friends, right? So, and as an extension, today we have Jignesh sir already joining us in, where today we are going to have a session on the topic utilizing intellectual skills for personal and professional success, which is again a very, very important topic, right? Yeah, thank you so much, like Taran. Yeah, all of you, I mean, like very attentive. Yeah, I could see like some similar faces already here. So yeah, with that, I would also like to welcome our head division of student welfare, Dr. Saurabh Lakanpal sir, to the session. And I would also like to welcome our eminent guest zonal coordinator of Youth Wing Punjab Zone, Mr. Arun Kaushik sir, to the session. Welcome, sir, again. And I would also like to welcome our eminent personality, Brahma Kumari's Center Coordinator, South Sweden, United Nations representative and volunteer, Mr. Jignesh Panchal sir, to the session as well. And a very, very hearty welcome to all the dignitaries and the participants for today. And so, guys, I could see like so many students in the beginning telling me that this is my first session. So, for those of you who don't know and are absolutely new to the session, let me tell you all, Prajapita Brahma Kumari's Ishwarya Vishwavidyalaya is a unique spiritual value-based educational institution of international fame with more than 8,500 meditation centers in India and abroad in 130 countries. So it is also affiliated to the United Nations as an NGO, having a consultative status with UNICEF and ECOSOC. And the institution believes in the parenthood of God and the brotherhood of man and is open to everybody, irrespective of their diverse backgrounds. Okay, how many of you are excited for today's session? Now, I'm not going to talk more because yeah, without any further ado, I'll be handing over the session. But yeah, before that, how many of you are excited? Let me see, like a lot of excitement there. Okay, so Himanshu, Jahid, a lot of you. Okay, so great, amazing. What about the other 49 people in the meet? Okay, oh, I'm getting personal messages. Okay, okay, great, guys. So with lot of exuberance, yeah, maintain the same pace throughout the session. I can see like a lot of people already commenting in the section, so that's great, right? So yeah, with a lot of virtual claps, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on stage an eminent personality, Brahma Kumari's Center Coordinator, South Sweden United Nations representative and volunteer, Goodwill Ambassador for UN Environment with around 14 years of experience in functional modeling and verification and validation techniques. Got a lot of expertise in Verilog, System Verilog, Pearl, extensive experience on system level verification and block verification, who has written papers on topics like positive attitudes and relationships, touching the light, worked as a volunteer in innumerable foundations, ashrams, and homes, having received some very invaluable awards and rewards throughout his life for his unshakable and indefatigable service to the nation. So, yeah, yes, I'm talking about our dignitary for the day, guys, who is none other than Mr. Jignesh Panchal, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, with the loudest possible virtual applause, welcome on stage Mr. Jignesh Panchal, sir, who is going to swamp and submerge you all into the unexplored depths and dimensions, today with this topic. Yeah. So welcome, sir. A very hearty welcome to you.
Thank you so much. It was such a lovely and refreshing introduction I have ever had in my life.
Oh,
Thank you so much for that. And it's lovely to be part of this lovely profession university. And thanks, Arun Bhai, for golden opportunity to talk with my dear friends of youth. I always feel privileged, and I would say always feel good when I see youth of the country, youth of the nation, especially. I born in Bharat, though I brought up in Western, but then I born in Bharat and my family located in Bharat, so it's extra special love for my country. So thank you so much. And now you have to listen me for maybe approximately 45 minutes. I will try my level best to share more of experience, what I do and what I not do, because being a youth, sometimes listening too many stuff is out of our mind. It's like this there is something called goldfish. I forgot the name exactly, the fish. It says that fish is the only species who can concentrate on something for 0.8 seconds, something like that. And we human now we are not concentrating at all, because we have now very much fluctuating mind and stuff going on with what to do, what not to do. So basically, maybe before I start, I would prefer, I just want to share you the agenda, or maybe I would say the index, what I'm going to share. So our topic is basically utilizing intellectual skill for personal and professional success. Maybe before I start, I would like to just share, when we talk about the intellect, is basically the intellect what you have in Hindi, what we call, I think, buddhi. Sometimes we call the buddhijeevi people, sometimes very smart people, very buddhijeevi people. But when I use word intellect, I always prefer that word to be like, very wise and very wisdom. So maybe throughout our session, I have the few slides which I have just prepared based on my experience, because I I don't want to refer something which is like experienced by someone else. So in this case, if you have any question, and maybe feel free to ask. And maybe no language doesn't make any sense. If you are comfortable with your own language, maybe you can put it into chat box and then we can see the translation or something. But then anything, if you would like to know about that, maybe I would happy to answer. So let me share. Yeah, let me know when you see the presentation. Yeah. So could you see this presentation then?
Yes,
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 sir.
brother. Yes, yes.
All right, perfect. So, so before we start, now the first question is like, why this picture for the utilizing the intellect, intellectual power or skill for? So basically, maybe we know this spiritually or maybe mentally or any damn stuff what we think about our life. We have multiple thoughts in our mind, patterns. Maybe if you are a youth, then you might have a lot of stuff, maybe friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, life, and then job, and then money, and many stuff. So that shows like how our thinking is. So each and every stuff has a color. In engineering, I have completed my bachelor of engineering, electronics and communication. So I know that each and every mobile phone has a frequency, and that frequency connect to the tower and something like that. And each number represents some stuff. So each human also have basically the frequency, what we call the nature. And if your frequency and other person's frequency is basically matching, we say that is my friend, or maybe something like that. So exactly for the skills, each and every human being, they are different and very unique. So that represents the some stuff. And then when I talk about intellect, basically, I would like to share something. Maybe the English meaning of intellect would be, it would be the appeal to or engaging the intellect, your intellect, where you use your buddhi. I mean, normally we use the word buddhi in general way in Hindi, or maybe it's all for relating to the intellect, or it is used. So that was the one concept. So before going to this whole detailed structure of the intellectual power and intellect stuff for your professional and personal, so something called the conscious mind and subconscious mind and unconscious mind. And this all mind basically work with the mind, and then thought, and thought pattern goes to your intellect. And based on your intellect, we call the impression. An impression in Hindi, what we call sanskar. There is a word called sanskar in Hindi. And sanskar doesn't mean that you behave nicely, you don't drink, or you don't smoke or stuff like that. That's a habit, by the way. Sanskar means the way you behave, the way you act. Like a very simple example would be when Abdul Kalam was that's what I read. When he was a kid, he was have that kind of passion to learn, to do something for the nation. And we all know the story how he pursued his further education in a very small town of Bharat ko Rameshwaram. So that nothing but your intellect power. So you behave like that. Okay, I want to do this. So when I talk about me as a personality, as a human being, there is a one nice statement that when you have I is always capital in English, if you remember, it's always capital. And that shows that, it's me, it's kind of ego, what we call it. But spiritually also say when you put this I like this, it's called the bridge between your intellectual power and your spiritual power, and that can make a bridge. So that means I'm very humble, I'm very kind, and that is the first intellectual stuff what a one human has to have. And that's why I want to just show you that you have body, we have a sense and organs, and like the personality, what we call the I, but we do have a mind, and mind is nothing but the thinking, we have a millions of thoughts. Imagine you sleep and you get dreams. Basically, that dreams are nothing but your thoughts. You know, so yesterday there was, there is a COP conference going on in Glasgow, Scotland. It's called the Climate Change Conference happening. So we Brahma Kumari is also represented, and we have many papers and many stuff. And being a part of the UN brand ambassador, like we also discussed, and then we came up that we have a plenty of thoughts, and because that's our nature. But how many thoughts we are giving to our nature, like trees and sky and stuff like that, because we have a plenty of thoughts, and each thought is basically connected to your intellect, and intellect is nothing but the judgment, the discrimination, or maybe decision. Let's say your friend is inviting you for dinner, and that's a thought in your mind came up, and then you are still thinking whether I should go or not, because I don't enjoy, because I don't like, because if I want to go, then I also want to ask this person, if I go I can see this person. So this all category which we call intellect, and that's nothing but the judgment, decision, corresponding thinking, and that's we call the intellect. So now you can understand when we say that utilizing your intellectual skill for your professional and personal, so that means all is a human nature, right? And that's why I have this slides called something called like we do have intellect power. So based on that we have expression, emotions, and that emotion goes, and then based on that we do observation, and observation is nothing but your mind, right? So that's it, just to give you an idea that what exactly the intellect means in a very shuddha bhasha, what we call buddhi. Buddhi always कहते हैं कि buddhi is always in the decision mode. Okay, what is right and what is wrong, So now if we move further, the the first thing what something which I can share from my personal life, why intellectual skill importance, what is the importance of skill, intellectual skill, why do you think that you have to have the intellectual skill? So it says like many types of intellectual skills and strategies are needed for the effective learning of any topic. So let's say if you have any topic and you want to learn, that says you have to have some intellectual power. That means you give some exercise to your intellect. It's called बुद्धि को थोड़ा हिलाओ, अपनी बुद्धि लगाओ, तुम्हारे में दिमाग है या नहीं. That's what we often use this word in our language, right? So that is something called the using your intellect. And intellectual skills are the building blocks of thinking. Like that's why there are many games, if many games, like example, many games like the building the block, and then putting the stones, and some games basically you use your brain. And when you use your brain, when you give activity to your brain, that's called the intellectual skill. Like example, if you have, everyone has a phone, right? And then it has a Google map. So when you want to go from one place to another place, we just put the address and direction. When you put the first time, basically Google takes time, and that's something called the artificial intelligence, what we call the machine learning in our engineering, because then it creates the data path. It takes not too much time, but maybe fraction of the second. But let's say after maybe 5 years or 10 years, if you put the same direction, Google will not take time, because then they are storing that data path. So for the human, it's called multiplasticity. So once you have some new stuff in your mind, it creates some path. And then when you do repeat it, when you do it again and again, then because of this multiplasticity, your brain is now used to it. And that's why you never forget your way to your home. You always reach your home, unless and until you are in a consciousness and not in a super conscious drinking mode, then you go your home very easily. Exactly. So that's something called the giving an exercise to your brain. And that's why many doctors and many specialists, they suggest that, look at the green stuff, look at the colorful stuff. If you come to Sweden, Sweden is not a colorful country. It's a very dark country. Now 4 o'clock, it will be dark. so we see black and white. So here many people, they are having great depression, like they are depressed because you see black and white color, even buildings are white color and black color according to government law or whatever, I don't know. And people also wear the black clothes, everybody's wearing black jacket and some stuff. So that's a pattern to your mind. But in Bharat, we have many colors, so maybe our brain is always like hyper, chuck, 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 chuck. So that's something what we call intellectual skills are basically the one which is building blocks of the thinking, and they are involved in all type of thinking. So what I do personally, I stay, where I stay is like a meditation center, this one. And then many people visit. Now it's open. Now no COVID. Luckily, thank God, no COVID now. So, no COVID in terms of maybe here is open, so people can come. So when people are visiting here and see, so sometimes I also feel that, many intellectual people, like I met one scientist, and then day before yesterday, this last weekend, I met the municipal commissioner or mayor of the city. So sometimes I feel they are very intelligent and very highly occupied with a lot of stuff. But then what I do, sometimes you really have to understand what exactly you need in your life. And that's something what we follow as intellectual stuff. So what I do, maybe I can share few stuff. If you really want to improve this intellectual, and this intellectual importance, what I'm sharing is just to make your mind busy. I mean, we know, like one of my friend, he asked me that, if you give me free Wi-Fi and if you give me very nice phone, I can spend 24 hours in the phone. And I said, this is not something you are very proud of. तुमने कोई rocket launch थोड़ी करना है जो तुम ऐसे बोलते हो कि like, give me Wi-Fi and then what exactly you are checking, basically देखा जाए तो. And he said, no, I have a nice Instagram profile. I have a 12,000 followers. And I asked, how many really they know you? And she said, no, only 12 people. And that something is not good for an intellect, because that something is, ready-made. Like maybe आपके सामने एक खाना रखा है, very nice and fancy, very fancy stuff. But when you're trying to eat, basically वो खाना नहीं है, that's a painting. Or maybe that's a printout. You can't eat, right? So there is a huge difference between the reality and expectation. And there is a huge difference between the reality and the way we live. Hindi cinema में या Bollywood में या Hollywood में, their faces are very beautiful because lot of filters. But the reality is way different what we see in the screen. So life is all about that. Your intellect is way different current sometimes what you think. So here are few examples. I would say what I do to keep my mind very strong, very healthy, because I live in a country where 4 o'clock in the winter is a night, is a dark. Maybe if we have a one hour session, I can turn my camera and you can see it's a dark after 1 hour. It's very depressive sometimes. But then one has to really be busy with your mind. And the examples are like, some activity, maybe the shape in the shape shorter, there is a one activity, learning to ride a bicycle, like maybe it's a learning, but then you can try something new, whatever you feel. That's something called sport. Creativity is like being able to express imaginative ideas in a unique way. Maybe in Brahma Kumaris, every year we have a youth gathering. We call this youth conference. So many people across the Bharat, they come up and they discuss what activities we should have and what activities we can plan. So that's what I call the creativity. So maybe you few friends can sit together, plan something, maybe currently the Safai Abhiyan is going on. Maybe you could do something. You could do something for your school, your college, or maybe for your home. That's something called the creative idea. Then hobbies. When I say hobbies, that means painting, drawing, maybe collage, dance, or whatever you like. For me, I like music. I play the Indian instrument sitar, if you know the sitar. So whenever I feel bored, whenever I see dark outside and I have a lot of work pressure, I just play sitar. I know sitar and I just try to learn the new raga. And memory, another thing is like, the ability to store and recall. Try to rename all your friends' name. Maybe sometime you don't know, but then try to say hello to each other. Try to remember their names. Maybe try to remember the path. Try to remember some some ways, that's something I would suggest as a improve your intellectual skill. And don't think that the moment you start this, you will be super smart. No. But maybe your brain will try to get something new, do not give something daily what your mind is getting, waking up at, let's say, 12 o'clock, and then eating, and then sleeping, and then going out, and then selfies and all. My dear friend, that's very usual life. That's not something we are here. We are here to give something best. So what people do, what others they do, maybe let them do. But let me do something different and unique way. You know. So that's something I would say the um, intellect importance. And another thing is like importance would be the one develop the cognitive skill. Very hidden potential. Each and every human being is smart. Do not think that you don't have any positive stuff. No, you are human, you are grace of God, and you are very beautiful entity in this world. You have something in your life. Just check it out. दूसरों को देखने के बजाय maybe पहले we can churn our own self. Like I don't, my mom always said rather to churn someone else buttermilk, let's churn our own buttermilk so that butter we can eat. So that's what I can say. You all have a very cognitive skill in your life, and if you don't know, maybe ask your friend, ask your mother. Your mother and your father are the best person to tell you. So but the strategically refining them can help a person process information better and better and use their ability to work. So for me, I start my day early morning. 4 o'clock is highly complicated when I start. Maybe for listening also you feel no way, but it's a practice. So I start my day at 4 o'clock. We do have a meditation. Then I sleep sometime, or maybe I go for tennis because here the tennis court open by 5 o'clock. So I go for my tennis, and then I come back, and then we have a spiritual study session in Brahma Kumaris. So because this is meditation center, few people, they come here and we do spiritual study session. And then I prepare my breakfast and I go for walk, or maybe I start my work. And then 5 o'clock, I stop my work. Sometimes it's extra pressure from manager, but then I manage myself that, no, after 5, I should not work. And then I relax, So that gives you ability, that better and better use of their ability, that you can work and you can perform better. Nobody can perform better in a pressure. So, and we all can reflect, realize, check and change, which is very typical spiritual word we often use, that, reflect and realize. If you think you are wrong, accept it. Maybe you don't have a courage to tell your friend that, you are right and I am wrong, because we are very egoistic entity. Human are one of the highest egoistic entity. So you never accept. But some meditation and spiritual study suggests that, reflect and realize. The moment you start accepting yourself, who you are, I'm always right. No, sometimes I might wrong, and that person is always right. That reflect and realization will improve your intellectual power, not skill, power. When I say power, it's a different. When I say skill, it's a different, right? And check and change. I always do. Before COVID, I was in New York in a United Nations Assembly, and there was a huge guy. The guy was asking me for ID, and then that was the biggest lesson for me. And then the way he was talking, it was highly humiliating. But then I check. Then if that person speaking is affecting to my mind, no, then I'm happy. Otherwise, किसी ने कुछ बोल दिया, and then we take it personally, and you are gone. And ultimately, we are damaging our own self. Nobody else is damaging. So that's something I always do, check and change. And with that, we increase the intellectual power. And if we move further, now the strength and wellness. So when I say intellectual strength, it's like a strength on the intellectual level is developed by learning new things and thinking, try to think something differently. And maybe try to visit some place. अभी आजकल मैंने सुना है कि like there is a new concept called solo travel. But then half of the time you are on phone. That's not called solo travel, by the way. Solo travel is something you are with your own journey, like, you and your soul, or maybe you are in your own thinking. So maybe that thinking is nothing but your strength to improve your intellectual skill or power. So a person who is learning new things is able to apply them to his or her life is basically intellectually strong, you know. And you all are youth. You maybe more or less we all are youth, because I'm in very young age I joined Brahma Kumaris, and but I joined meditation center this Brahma Kumaris because before that I have been to more than 72 organizations just to try understand who am I and what's my talent and what I really want to do. So maybe that one thought, gave me some inspiration to travel to many organizations. I when I travel to all the religion organizations, just want to understand how people think and how people behave. Each and every religion, each and every country, each and every state, each and every human being is a very unique, and they do have a very unique style of working. Imagine if you have a 5 friends, take 5 virtues from them, and you have a 5 plus your own. That means you are one step ahead of your 5 friends. Isn't it good? That's something I call learn something new. Rather to learn how to apply that filter in your photo that make you your face maybe for 1 hour, 2 hour nice and very handsome, very beautiful, or maybe 5 years, or I would say 10 years. But then we all are growing, right? But the inner potential what we have, the sorry inner power what we have, the inner mind, maybe if you apply a nice filter in your mind, that's a lifetime. It will not go, and that's something you can upload somewhere. That's what I call the to show off my own self, my own mind. So that's something is your inner strength to learn something new. And when I say intellectual wellness, so wellness is something like engaging the individual in creative and stimulating mental activities to expand their knowledge and skill to help them grow their potentials. So this is basically, do not try to follow someone. Try to follow someone who is actually very successful, or maybe try to follow someone who can guide you. Try to follow someone who can really inspire you, but do not try to follow someone who is very good looking and very charming and many stuff a person is doing. No, that's very materialistic. That might fade away, that might go somewhere. But if you follow someone with the values, with the virtues, with the good stuff, you would see the difference in your life. You would see how unique you are. And that's something I call a wellness, that your mental activity should be in such a way that you feel powerful, you feel empowered, you feel energetic, not something that you go somewhere in a 5 group of people, one person is not talking to you, you always think about that person is not talking to me, that person is not talking to me. Rather, you are not enjoying that 4 other persons are nicely talking to you. Yeah, that's not called wellness. So wellness is something, maybe try to give some creative thoughts to your mind and maybe stimulate that thought, and that will help you, and that grow your potential. Like, your potential would be, let's say you can do this, but if you increase this, you may do this. So that's something what we call the potential. And now, how you empower yourself, basically. Basically, I like Shaktiman, but I didn't get the image of Shaktiman, so I used the Superman. But when I say empowering yourself, these are something which I feel, and these are something I follow in my life, and this is my own experience. Maybe this might vary from other person's definition, by the way, but this is what I do in my life. So that's why I have noted down few points. So when I say so questions, maybe we are taking at the end, right, Arun bhai? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we have
Okay.
like a separate
Yeah, yeah,
Q&A
yeah.
session, sir.
Okay. All right. So when I say empowering yourself, so what I do when I want to empower, so I gave us some ultimatum to my life when I because I born in Bharat but brought up in Western, and I have a mixed culture of Eastern Western mix, and my mother is a typical Gujarati teacher, and she's very Hitler. She doesn't like anything about the Western, so she always forces us with the Bharatiya stuff. But then some definitions are very unique. So I gave ultimatum to my life that, if I want to become a champion or successful person, or maybe personally and professionally, what first thing I have to do? I have to be a master of my own mind. I have to I have to become a champion of my own self, and we need to reclaim our power. How I can do so? Then I do by recognizing our inner qualities, virtues, and powers. So I often talk to myself, what are the best thing I have, and what are the worst thing I have. I don't want to focus on the best thing, because that's okay, it's good to have, but what are the worst thing? And I note down. Like sometimes I feel that I'm sometimes I'm overreacting, so I note down and I work on that. So that I note down, and that's why I have written that you should recognize your inner qualities. You have some or other quality, I'm damn sure. No human being is without quality, definitely. And you can increase your virtues and power. Let's say you don't have a virtue of respect, maybe आप किसी को कुछ भी बोल देते हो. So that's not a respect. Maybe try to improve, be humble, be nice. If you see any old person, just bow down. That's called respect, So that's something you recognize. And then now you are implementing. Now, second is accepting the responsibility for our own thoughts. अगर आपने किसी को कुछ बोल दिया है and which is wrong and which is proven that it's wrong, accept it, because that's the biggest thing one can do. Rather to give justification, तुमने ऐसा किया, and then you open 50 day की पुरानी बातें, you have done this 6 months before. That's very useless. That's not a human nature, basically. Maybe you do because maybe you are doing, but that's not a human nature, by the way. So accepting and responsibility for your own thoughts, your words, your actions, and their impact on ourselves, others, and the world. So when you change, your family change. Your family change, society change. Society leads to city. City leads to the state. State to commune. Commune to your country, and country to the world. Day before yesterday, I was having a session with the French people here. And then they told me about Bharat. We like the one word, Vasudeva Kutumbakam. And I was surprised. I really like, even I know that word, but they know, imagine. But sometimes when some Indians or Bharatiya, they come for meditation center, and if I explain them meditation criteria, they ask me a lot of questions, and they behave like, they are Westerner. In spite of that they know, but Westerner, they accept few culture of Bharat. So then I realized, okay, your actions, your words, and your thought really impact. It gives a huge impact to the society. If you have a bike example, and if you unnecessarily hype it, don't. There are many ways. I mean, you are spoiling the nature, you are giving carbon footprints to the atmosphere, plus you are creating a noise pollution, plus you are giving a trouble to your neighbor, the one who are walking. Imagine, आप कितने लोगों की इनडायरेक्टली बददुआएं लेते हो एक छोटे से एक्शन से. Imagine, and just because you want to show off. Imagine, right? And that's not increasing your intellectual power. Basically, that increasing your one inverse intellectual power. That means very negative power. So imagine, दिन में हम कितना ऐसा करते हैं which is impact to others, है ना? That's something which is very important, and that's why I always see myself, whatever I do, it's really impacting to the nature. और दो चीजें होती है, पुरुष and प्रकृति. When I say पुरुष, is my own self, पुरुष means like what we call the soul. पर उष मतलब पृथ्वी, ये पृथ्वी से जो ऊपर है वो is like a soul. And प्रकृति, that means for your own, जो बनाया गया है कुदरत के through, that's called प्रकृति. This means nature, your body, this all called प्रकृति. So if you do some stuff, you disturb everything, and that's what we call accept if you have done something wrong. No? And accepting our talent, skills, and achievement, whatever you have, appreciating what you have, appreciate it. Do not compare that my friend is a good painter and I want to do a good painter. No, not at all. You are unique. Appreciate what you have. Try to figure out what hobby you like. Sometimes I like crafting. I do a lot of crafting stuff, and I make these rose and petals and some stuff. So many people, they told me that, this crafting is a woman's job. I said, no way, that's a very hypocritical answer. No, so don't worry. Whatever you like, do it. Like one of my friend, he likes this, sweater ko banana. It's knitting. So that's not a woman's stuff. It's like a hypocrisy. You like something, do it. There is nothing called the woman or man. Each are equal. We all are soul. We all are unique. There is nothing, something called is a woman job or man job. No. But then Gisna is not a woman job, by the way. It's everyone's job. I do here. So appreciate the talent what you have. Don't afraid of people, because ये दुनिया में आधे लोग ऐसे हैं जो आपको demotivate करेंगे. They don't, because they don't want you to grow. So they will give you some hypocritic stuff. Don't do this. This is woman stuff. Don't do this. No, that's absolutely wrong. To appreciate what you have. And then another thing is realizing that we can make a difference, that we do matter, and what we have important part to play in the changing the world. You are very unique. You can change the world. Very unique way. See, Mahatma Gandhi, I've been to many countries in the world for the United Nations and for the Brahma Kumaris. I almost visited more than 50 countries. You don't believe, each and every country I found Mahatma Gandhi Road. Imagine. What is this? This is something, the change, right? If you want to change, then if you want to change the world, start with yourself. That's Mahatma Gandhi's thought, right? So this is something I always believe, that, if you do something little bit small stuff, that also impacting to the world. Maybe your parents are appreciating you. That's your world. Your parents is actually your world. And another thing is looking after ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, so that we are able to operate optimum levels. When I say physically, do some exercise, like I go for tennis. और जो भी कहता है ना, I am highly busy, I don't have a time, according to me, वो सबसे झूठ बोलता है. ये दुनिया का सबसे झूठा इंसान है जो बोलता है मैं busy हूँ. No, you can take out time. You have 24 hours. Divide your time in such a way that you make yourself happy. Sorry. So like physically, do some activity, go for walk. Mentally, give some activity to your brain, rather to watch some bad stuff, try to watch something good, or maybe talk to someone who is inspiring you. And then emotionally, that means, check yourself. You are not disturbed by someone, because human being can disturb you anytime. So if you are getting sad or disturbed by someone, make sure you do not get the same from other person. अगर कोई आपको परेशान करता है, कुछ गलत बोल दिया है, make sure it doesn't happen another time. That's called looking after emotionally. And spiritually, do meditation. Just sit in silence, relax yourself, close your eyes, and think that you are a very unique human being in this world. And that's something called the spirituality, right? Another thing is going beyond the praise and defamation. मतलब कोई अच्छा बोले तो भी ऐसे रहो, कोई खराब बोले तो भी ऐसे रहो. Like, when someone is praising, you are like out of the sky, and someone is saying bad word, you are like, below the age. No, it should be not like that, because people are like that. And then being loving and detached. So this is very spiritual word when we say loving and detached. Detached, that means, do not too much attachment with someone is a bad. हम लोग कहते हैं कि व्यक्ति, वस्तु एंड वैभव, इन तीन चीजों में attachment is always harming. So maybe that's something one can make sure. And taking support from divine, or maybe nature, or whatever the source you may like to explore. Like when I do meditation, I always think that I have a source of energy, the supreme soul, and I'm connecting and I'm getting all power. So that's something what we call the support from divine. And yeah, next. So now the next point would be empowering the self, and this is what I do. What I have just I told you before. So I do reading. So I do some whenever I get time. So like the month of December, so I have decided to read some stuff regarding Christianity example. So I do read. So I get the viewpoint, different viewpoint, how a different human can think. And as I said, I play musical instrument, I play sitar, and then journaling. So if you have not done, do it. I do every day, by the way, for 2 minutes only. When I say journaling, that means note down your thoughts and note down your activities. And if you think these thoughts and activities are wrong, it's going out of your goal. Your goal is to complete your study. Your goal is to become this. Your goal is to become this. If some stuff are beyond your goal, some stuff are like oppositing to your goal, then maybe make sure that you change that. And this will happen when you do journaling. Maybe if you don't want to do every day, do once a week. every Sunday evening before you go to sleep, try to remember all the activities you have done in a week. और उसमें से जो भी एक्टिविटी आपने गलत की है, note down and change yourself. And if you think that you have done something wrong with your friend, Monday morning, call him or her and say sorry. And I would give you guarantee that it's you for success is easy, plus you'll become a very good person. And apart from that, you'll be happy. No matter what is happening in the world, I'm happy. So that's something I would appreciate if you do journaling. And then creative stuff, maybe do some crafting or some hobby. And then rules and principles. So when I say rules and principles, that means, sometimes I have seen my parents and my cousins sometimes, they never come on time. I can ask them come to 5 o'clock, they always come 6 o'clock. And I said, why you are doing this? And they said, no, but this is India, we never go on time. And I said, no, but then tell me 6 o'clock. Why you are telling me 5 o'clock? Example. So maybe some rules and principle we have to follow in our life. Otherwise the life will be like normal. You have to follow something. You have to wake up early, or maybe you don't want to wake up early. It's okay. But then maybe some portion of your time give to yourself. So if evening 4 to 5, I'm studying, or maybe 5 to 6, I go for walk, no matter what. If your friend is planning something, let's go out for a chai and some kitty conversation. No, 5 to 6 is my walking time. And that is the best time I can talk to myself. So that's some rules and some principle. Go vegetarian once a week if you're not vegetarian. Go vegan if you are not, once a week. Some kind of stuff. So to help the nature, to help the society, help your mother and father once a week, something like that. You define your rules and principle. And then meditation. And finally, the friends, do nice conversation with your friend rather to have some useless conversation which is not needed, and that will empower yourself. And when I say, if you follow this many stuff in your life, like whatever I have discussed so far, these are the few virtues which I always feel I do have, and I always empower myself, and I always feel that I am embodiment of these virtues. So, and this helped me in my personal and professional strength or professional life, because professional is not easy. You have a constant pressure from your manager have a constant pressure from his or her manager, and then company's pressure. I work in a company where we design the microprocessor of the computer. The company name is ARM. So we have a lot of pressure, but imagine if you work and lot of pressure, you don't balance your life. You don't balance your life with your friends and family. But then by following this minister, what I have told you, I can see I have enthusiasm. I am trustworthy, creative. I have a discipline. I am very patient guy. I have this respectfulness, determination, and dedication. Why I'm telling you, because it's easy, like example, when you buy milk, and let's say if you want to make a curd from milk, उसमें से अगर आपको curd बनाना है, तो it's easy because you have the basic material called milk. From that milk also you can make paneer. You can make lot of stuff, right? The foundation is milk. So this enthusiasm, trustworthy, creative, discipline, these all are, paneer and curd and sweets and stuff. But what is the main ingredient is milk. And what is milk? So far what we have discussed. Empower yourself. And then you easily get this many stuff in your life. And one thing I would suggest, maybe do not think that any organization is a religion organization. No, it's not like that. I know many youth, they don't believe in religion. It's not about religion. Religion is something, what I feel. Yeah? So when I say meditation, it's meditation to empower yourself. Meditation is nothing but to connect yourself to the source. The source could be anything. The source could be God. The source could be whatever you feel. The source could be nature. Go to park, sit in a nature, and think that this nature is giving you vibration. And that's called meditation, right? And when you sit in a silence, just think that you are a very calm person, you are a very silent person. That's meditation. And when you really want to charge yourself, like the way we charge our phone battery, right? So when you want to charge, then maybe you can think, I am a soul and my soul is getting charged from Supreme Soul. That's it. That's called meditation. So be available for meditation. Do not give some useless excuse that you are super busy and you don't like. No, try it. I will give you one advice, like 1 week, try meditation accurately, fix the time. Maybe you can ask someone for help. Maybe Arun Bhai can also help, or maybe you can visit any meditation organization. Follow 1 week, and 1 week do not follow. After 2 weeks, you would see the difference that when you follow meditation, your life is so good. When you don't follow meditation, it's nothing which is very impactful in your life. सेम ट्रैफिक एंड यू डू हॉन्किंग 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 और कोई साइड में से गया देन आप उसको गाली देते हो. That's very obvious. So be available for meditation. So when I say be available, that means make an early start, meditate, set the switch of your consciousness and calibrate your energy for the day. You will be surprised the difference it makes. You will see the difference. मैं यहाँ पे अकेला रहता हूँ. I prepare my breakfast, I prepare my lunch. I run meditation center. In meditation center, we offer meditation course, and then we also give prasad when someone visit. Some people ask me, don't you think it's difficult? I said, no, maybe because I plan my life and not too much plan. Even I also sleep sometime. I also sleep like whenever I'm in India, whenever I visit my hometown, I sleep like till 9 o'clock. It's not like that. But then I always focus on my own life. And I always focus that if I change, the world would change. So take time to empower yourself today. Sit quietly and connect your mind to each source, whatever the source you like, and allow yourself to recharge. And few scientifically, they have proven that when you do meditation, it says like higher brain function, increase your immune function, lower blood pressure, lower heart rate, better awareness, increase attention, and stuff like that. But what I felt is you experience being calm and it internally still. You don't feel something, what is happening outside. You don't care because you are very peaceful, very calm, and you experience feeling connected. You feel that you are connected with the nature. You feel that you are connected with the supreme divine, and you feel that you are not alone. You have the whole world to change. And that's something I always say, be available for meditation, right? Now, the last homework I would like to give you, very, very funny homework I'm sharing with you now. So when I say feed and stories, I do the same. I also use Instagram, Facebook, and many stuff. We do have a youth wing, Brahma Kumari's Instagram, which I maintain. And I do have my personal. And, sometimes Instagram is very funny. So my friend, he clicked the photos and then he applied the filters and see which filter looks the best. And then he upload. And while uploading, he thinks, what comment I should add? हालांकि वो घर में बाथरूम में भी क्लिक करता है और लिखता है कि पेरिस व्यू. Imagine कितना झूठ बोलते हैं लोग. And then he thinks for comment. And then after comment, very fancy, very nice, very GRE TOEFL English words comment. And then hashtag में blah, 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 blah. And then he shares photo. And then he waits at how many people are liking, how many people are commenting, and how many people are saving, because I have more than 50,000 followers. Imagine, first of all, you are giving the wrong impression. Your photos are not original. You are not original. You are fake version. You are filter version, right? From your face. And then you are expecting people to like. People are liking your fake profile. People are not liking the original you, right? So now maybe wake up and make yourself aware that life is not a fake filter. You have to create your own filter. And how you can do? So maybe click your photo every in the morning and check yourself. Like, let's say today is a Monday. Like, that's what I do, by the way. So today is Monday and I have 3 meetings back to back in my office. I have to be calm, because sometimes these meetings are so much over clumsy and then it's like too much. So then I applied the filter calmness. Now what comment I should use? So every day we have this spiritual session in the morning. So I took from today's session, spiritual learning session, that you are the one who spread the positive energy. And that's my comment. And now when I take hashtag is something I have to remember. So my today's hashtag is I'm happy, maybe. And then I share. And I shared that myth when I went for morning in my tennis, I was smiling, I was happy, and I was giving a sweet, we call prasad in meditation center, we call toli prasad. So I gave to my odd fellow tennis player and I said, happy Monday. Hope you have a great week. This is how I share. And how can you say people are liking? You would feel internally that you are happy, constantly smile, then you have no complaints, you are ever happy. Imagine that someone is liking your profile. And this is how people will subscribe and follow. So make a day, maybe from tomorrow, or maybe till next session, or maybe for your lifetime, do this exercise. Every day morning when you wake up, give nice filter to your life. Today, I don't want to honk. Or maybe today, I don't want to do overtake because some people, the youth, they do this overtaking stuff and it's dangerous. So maybe some kind of filter, you decide. And then comment, you can decide, and try this filter, try this feed and story in your life, create your own Instagram. And that's why in Hindi I like this word called bhavna, meri shubh bhavna, meri shubh kamna. The bhavna word, bhavna is only in Bharat, nowhere else in the world. In Western, you come here in Western, people don't have bhavna. They are very straightforward, very practical, blah 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 blah. But sometimes it doesn't work. You have to have feelings. So we in Western, I gave this concept of people to use bhavna, Hindi word, but in English I say the heart of hope. So it's a bhavna is a Hindi word and it means pure feeling of the heart. First of all, for me and for others. And bhavna is the heart of hope that takes us beyond intellectual logic of fact and figures into the domain of the collective experience. So then if you go beyond this intellectual logic, it's a surety you will be happy. Surety, right? So this is something. And with that, I would like to end, and I would just say, I have a two quotation for you. Maybe I can send you to Chanda ma'am and Arun. You can keep it, print out, take it, print out, and keep it with you. So be positive and empower yourself. So be positive. That means knowing the powerful impact my thought can have on others and the environment. Remember, you are part of environment. I choose to create the positive mindset. And empower yourself, that means realizing that I am the creator of my own reality. I choose to make a positive difference in the world. So the way you think, you create the world. So focus on the self, right? With that, I would like to say thank you for listening me. I think hope it's not too much, but thank you so much for listening me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. My God, it was like so amazing with a lot of true factors actually coming up on board. And it was like so rejuvenating and absolutely relaxing. I mean, when we hear something which is so soothing enough, and when there arises a situation where we feel like, oh my God, yeah, that's really correct. So that's like so satisfying. So yeah, we had like a lot of satisfaction. Thank you so much, sir, for delivering such a great presentation for all the students today here. And yeah, guys, if you have like any questions for sir, you can feel free to ask any questions or like queries. We'll be good to go with any questions from any of you. So if anybody wants to unmute and ask, yeah, just write a me maybe in the comment section, then yeah, we'll be unmuting you and then you can ask your query. So yeah, so anybody, if you're up for any question, yeah, can come out. Okay, Himanshu, you want to ask a question? Okay, so okay, Himanshu and Kuldev. Okay, so one second. Okay, so yeah, Himanshu, you can ask your question.
Thank you, ma'am. And so, yeah, I have a question. I have quite a few questions, like 3 and 4 questions. From beginning itself, I was listing out those all questions. So, as sir said in the beginning, that he visited many institutions to look for what was his answer. I mean, what was the questions he was looking for, and those all. While he's also, what did you learn from those, and what did you come to know that? What was your exact search, and what did you found from there?
Well, if you ask me, I'm not sure whether it's the right platform to share, but then I always looking for something which I want to know, who am I? I mean, who is my reality? I'm not a human body. First of all, that question I was always having. And being a Gujarati Vaishnav family, born in India and brought up in Western, I had that question that my mom always reads this Bhagavad Gita, and I always have a question that you said that this life is blah 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 something, but then who am I? So with that question, I have visited many institutes, like who am I, and what's my role in this world, and why I'm here, why I took this male body, why I think like that. So with those questions, I visited many organizations that what's my reality, what's my identity, and with that maybe I travel a lot.
Yeah, I agree with that, sir. So my second question is that, sir, like you said there is a right thing and wrong thing. Like when we do something wrong, we should address it and we should take responsibility and correct it. So there is a definition of wrong and right from every perspective. Like we perceive, we argue on what is wrong and what is right. But there should be a certain parameter upon which we decide what is wrong and what is right. Like we cannot be taking a point and arguing on entire life to decide what is wrong and what is right. We should come to a conclusion at some point of time. So how will we really decide upon what parameter that what is certain thing that is wrong and right? Means
So what
how do we decide what?
so what I do in my personal life, like not every time people would understand what you really want to say. So let's example, when I was a kid, I got this thought that you have to take bath when after your loo, when you finish your bathroom, you have to take bath. So that's something I have been told. Now, if I go and argue with something, the Western people that no, you have to take bath because it's a fact. But then I realized no, that's not true. That's something I have been given. So in that perspective, what I do in my office also, like someone argue with me, no, you have to do this implementation like this. Maybe I would say I'm not sure what exactly the criteria would be, but let me try what you say. And maybe by this experience, I came to know, and you would realize that, okay, now the concept is this, okay, you do, then this is right, you do, then this is wrong. But then in a way, it's all about your experience. Like sometimes, very simple example, if you are getting angry on someone, whether you are right or wrong, angry is not something is always right, it's always wrong. So but the same stuff, if you have convey or pass in a very gentle way, very calm way, that then you can say, okay, who is right and who is wrong. But when you always upper your voice, when you say something in a bad words or some maybe the slang word, that always is a wrong. So this is not something you have to argue that who is right and who is wrong. But in your deep down feeling, if you think you are right, you would never argue, because the wisdom says when you are right, you never argue. You always say, okay, it's okay, fine, sorry. And that's something we call the wisdom, जिसको हिंदी में हम कहते हैं ज्ञान. So I always apply that. Deep down, I know I'm right. I know I am always right. I know that that person is wrong, but why to waste my energy just to prove? So I got one document from my office, and they say you have to follow these steps, and I followed, and then I replied that no, this is not working. They said no, you have to do this. I know I have followed the document. I said okay, and I follow what the person sent. It was exactly matching same, document. So then I would always do that criteria. If you are right, and if you think you are deep down you are right, maybe there's nothing to be argued or something.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir. So I mean to say, I would just sum up that as like everything which makes me feel good and give a peace to my soul is right for me, in
Exactly.
sense.
But at the same
Exactly,
time,
sir.
you also have to make sure that you are not in overconfidence. Something is wrong, accept it. Human nature is sometimes we don't accept. We always think that I am right and I am the master. I am the one who is deciding. I am the one, and that's why I say this. I should be like this, and that's the bridge between your mental, physical, and spiritual aspect. So at the same time, we have to have balance. And in spirituality, we have a very nice word called master and then child. In Hindi, we call balak and malik. When needed, be child. When needed, be master. So at the same time, you have to have this also.
Right, sir. So, and with this, I'm here with my final question. This is like you just said one point where you have to check on our emotion and let not other people disturb us. And when somebody disturb us, we should make sure that this thing does not happen again. So, how do we do I make sure that the woman who is disturbing me should not disturb further?
Very simple example. We all have a WhatsApp, right? Every morning you get good morning message. I'm damn sure, right? For me, the first good morning message comes from my mother. But you know what? So far, now it's not happening. What we do, let's say you have a WhatsApp. It's called the five. It's called the first in, last out. That's a category the WhatsApp works. So the one who is sending the message at early morning 5 o'clock, it goes down, and the one who is messaging, let's say 9 o'clock, it will be the first. And if you are checking your WhatsApp at 10 o'clock, you would see you have a 10 good morning message. The very first person is down. Human being never reply to that the first person. We always start with the first one. So maybe that is one example. Maybe many of people you are not doing, you always try to reply the first one, but that's a human nature. Sometimes we always ignore what we have, and the person who is respecting and loving, but we always give a reply to the one who is not at all respecting us. So that thinking, if you have, you will easily understand this emotion stuff. And another example would be, let's say, if you are asking someone again and again, let's meet, let's go, why you are doing like this, why you are doing like this. If you do not get an ample and proper response, consider that you are being ignored and move yourself from there. And that is the best example I can say. And we know better who is ignoring us and who is not ignoring us. That is the best answer.
Thank you, sir. That was great. I think I agree completely with that. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Himanshu, Ranjan. So I really appreciate it. I mean, like students coming out and clearing their doubts, and that's really fantastic. Okay. So like Kuldeep, Kesharwani, so even you wanted to ask a question. So yeah, you can unmute and ask your question.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for giving this opportunity. Sir, as you said, not to do attachments with which all things you said, I missed that one.
I'm just plugging power cord. Give me 1 minute.
Yeah, okay, sir, no problem. Yeah. So guys, like meanwhile, maybe we can take like a couple of questions here from the comment section. So yeah, if anybody else has like any question, yeah, can feel free to put their questions there.
Yeah, so the point, the slide what I had was, maybe I can just read it out. So it was being loving and detached, and then one is maybe I would say attachment or detachment. But my concern here was sometime we do attach with a lot of stuff, which includes, like in Hindi, very nice words.
Yeah.
What we have is Vyakti, Vastu, and Vaibhav. Vyakti means a person, Vastu means a materialistic stuff, and Vaibhav, that means, your wealth, your money, or your property, your bike, or your car, whatever. Sometimes too much attachment also degrade you from your goal, and too much attachment, too much concern and care of one human being, or plus your phone, or your car, or your bike, or whatever, that deviate your life from your goal, and that might give you some kind of degradation to your intellectual power. So that's what I say, be loving. If you need something, take it with you. If you have some friends, it's good, but then too much is always a poison. Too much religion is a poison, too much spirituality is a poison, too much stuff is always poison. So attachment is something sometimes is too much, but that doesn't mean that you do not attach. Like in Hindi, there are two nice words which I learned, prem or sneh. I think sneh, correct. The meaning of prem is you love, and that means attachment, attraction, affection, everything what we call the love. But sneh means no affection and no expectation, but you love someone, like your mother. For mother, we call, she has a prem and sneh both, because sometimes they don't expect. But being a human being, we attach with some person, so we expect a lot. Or sometimes we expect too much from materialistic stuff also, that I want to buy this, I want to buy this. Being a youth, that's a deviation. So that's what my point was. Too much stuff is bad. So maybe try to avoid yourself. If you love someone, it's absolutely good.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Kuldeep Sharwani. Okay, so thank you so much. And so even like I had a question like before, like because we are talking now about like the intelligence and the mediocrity. So I just wanted to ask like the mediocre intelligence and mediocre output, extraordinary intelligence, will give like extraordinary outputs, right? So how can one's internal divinity empower their intelligence, to the zenith by making the divinity descend into your lives?
I mean, in a way, like what I do when I do meditation, like simple example, we have a phone, we always charge, and we have a cable, and we need a source of charging, right?
Yes.
जो भी है अपना voltage. Exactly, we need some charging. We need something where we can charge. And we always say, each and every human being say, I need peace, मुझे शांति चाहिए. So what is the source of peace? And we say the source of peace is divine, the supreme soul, or maybe whatever the nature you have. So the moment you connect, actually you are charging yourself. And that's why when you go for vacation or when you go for holidays, basically you feel charged because then you have a very happy and zeal and enthusiasm in your life. Imagine, consider every day is a festival. So that means every day you are charging. Every day you feel that you are very good. And this is how I do. Every day I charge myself because we don't do we charge our phone twice a day, thrice a day, or maybe multiple times. Some people they're keeping phone always on the charger because they do a lot of stuff. So imagine we human beings are also faded. We are very tired because we have a lot of negative energy around us. And you try to be positive. It's a mathematical equation that 1 multiplied by 0 is 0. But let's say 1,000 multiplied by 1 is 1,000. But 1,000 multiplied by -1, the entire figure is a -1,000. So the outside nature is negative, people are negative, and you are trying to be positive. So you always turn into negative. So that's why charging every day, maybe doing meditation or maybe prayer, whatever the comfort, the idea is talk to yourself and talk to yourself in a positive way that today will be the best day. Today will be the awesome day. Don't worry, it will be fine. All is well. There is a movie, I think, that they use all is well. Actually, it's a fat concept. Just try it. you know that's something we say the divine. And like I do connect with the divine because I do this Raja Yoga meditation. So that's a foundation that we do the meditation, that I am a tiny soul and I'm connecting the Supreme Almighty. And the way I'm connecting, I get all energy and I feel okay, I'm charged now. But it might possible that evening you get discharged. No worries. Next day morning again I will charge.
Okay, wow, great. So it's like having positive affirmations and validating it so that we always create an amicable relation with everybody alongside with amazing vicinity in the surroundings. So because it depends on the kind of seed we actually put into the sand. Because if you're like having one negative thought, oh my God, it's just gonna create all bunch of negative thoughts. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Surya. Thank you so much for the answer. And okay, so the last question for the day, guys. So, like Ridhima Mahajan was asking, like, sir, you mentioned that stay away from attachments. So, how is it possible? Like, we are playing the different roles in our life. I mean, like somewhere like children, friends, and like I mean whatnot. So every time we connect with others, so how we can stay away from them? And if they hurt us, we feel bad and sad. So how? Okay.
So I think
Okay.
maybe I think we all know the answer. Sometimes it's too much, very simple example. When I say attachment is always expectation.
Yes.
The stress is what? The stress and depression is what? There is a difference between reality and expectation. It's like always the stress. And another quotation I would always put in my life that, what we always, it's like, disrespect or like ignorance what we have and desire for what we not have. So जो है उसका हम कभी रिस्पेक्ट नहीं करते और जो नहीं है उसके पीछे भागते रहते. That is a biggest attachment. And so when you say you are staying with family and friends and stuff like that, maybe that's something called the amicable relation. That's not attachment. But कोई भी relation में जब अगर आप too much expectation रखते हो, then it convert into attachment. Like simple example, I was talking with my mom, and then she was telling, it's been 40 years तुम्हारे पापा नहाने के बाद अपना टॉवेल बाथरूम में छोड़ के आते हैं, and that's something he's doing since United States also, because we were living in Western. And I said, Mama, but that's very bad. 40 years you scold him, every day, that, because you have attachment, because you want him to change. But 40 years में अगर आपने 4 दिन भी खुद उठा के बाहर रखा होता without saying anything, the person might would have changed. Or maybe 4 months. Guarantee. Just don't speak anything and try to change. Guarantee है वो change होता है. And then that's not attachment. That's called love. And that's called eternal love. So when we say attachment is full of expectation, full of expectation. So when you lower down your expectation, that's something I would say the relations. Otherwise, it's not relation. It's like about fighting. So with family, with friends, it's love, not attachment. I never expect from my friend. My mom, she's always expecting some or other stuff because she's my mother. So it's okay. Even I do have expectations from few people. But too much is bad. Not too much. You can't change people. Remember one thing, we are not allowed to change any human being. You can only inspire. So that's what I always say. I'm not here to satisfy the society. I'm here to satisfy my own soul. And that something is without attachment. Maybe.
Wow, that's really wonderful, sir. I mean, the way you explain it, it is like so convincing, actually. Yeah. So not getting attached, but yeah, inspiring them at the same time. Wow, is like so amazing. Wow, great. So yeah, so that was the Q&A session, guys. So I hope everybody's doubts were cleared, and I really appreciate, like, there were some very wonderful people coming out openly. It takes a lot of courage, and I really appreciate the students who came out and asked the queries. I mean, yeah, great. Okay. Yeah, don't worry about the attendance link, guys. It's okay, no problem. So the thing is, again, you have to do the same process here. So I got a message just now from the higher authorities that you need not worry about the attendance link. So the solution for that is the same thing again. The students who attended for the last time might have already noticed what I'm going to say now, is that you have to put your registration numbers, alongside with your name in the comment section. And because this meeting is being recorded, all your names will be recorded. So yeah, definitely. So please put your name alongside with your registration, official registration number from Lovely Professional University, so that all of these would be recorded. And yeah, guys, there are some students who are sending me direct messages. So here, don't send the direct messages, because it would be only between you and me. It's not going to get recorded officially outside here. So yeah, just keep it public, and then yeah, keep putting your registration numbers. So in that way, everybody would be getting the attendance for today. Okay. Yeah, so you need not worry about the attendance form. You guys are all being noticed. I mean, here the everything, like the screenshots and everything is being taken. So you need not worry about the links, the forms. The most important thing is that you're getting knowledge, and the infinite wisdom, which is not available everywhere. I mean, especially in this era. So you have to be like very much, happy to get a person like that who is, putting forth his amazing knowledge, wisdom, and expertise in the field. And yeah, thank you so much, sir. I mean, for the Q&A round and for the amazing PPT delivery as well from your side. Yeah, and moving forward, guys, now I would like to take the privilege to call upon stage our eminent personality, Zonal Coordinator of Youth Wing Punjab Zone, Mr. Arun Kaushik, sir. Sir, if you have like any words, I mean, to share with the students, like, yeah. Sir, I think you're on mute, sir. I think you're on mute.
थैंक यू.
Yes, sir.
ओम शांति. गुड इवनिंग.
Om Shanti, sir.
हमने आज स्पेशली अपने जिग्नेश भाई जी को रिक्वेस्ट किया था फ्यू डेज बैक कि स्पेयर सम टाइम फॉर आवर लवली यूनिवर्सिटी स्टूडेंट्स, lovely students. So he accepted us. First of all, I want to thank him. He accepted our. And one information I want to say, madam, the next session will be a great person. We are invited, Dr. Swaminathan from Mumbai, international intellect है वो, तो बहुत ही अच्छा उनका सेशन होगा. I want that maximum students want to listen and should listen him.
Wow.
they will be very obliged by that. He's a
Wow.
great personality. So this unka topic bhi decision, memory, he is the master of that.
Wow.
So my information is that they should must all the students and their friends they can invite on that day 22nd. So the homework which we have given our brother, so they should do that. This is my request. They should do that and follow that. If any problem, just like question in written here, that question in mind there. When they follow that, the creation will be there that this is not possible. Then we can reply more. So this is my request to all the students. If whatever the homework is going on, they should follow that. Only listening is sufficient, but doing is more than sufficient. When we get the, just like you are studying all the year, but when you go to the exam, you have to clear all the knowledge in the written. In the same way, what you have listened, practically when you will do that is the exam. Then you can say that this is not possible, this is possible. So our request is they should ask the questions like that, so that our personalities which we are inviting them, they can reply their practical experience. I ask this Jignesh Bhai especially because he's a professional and he's very success personality. I want to say that he's most success personality, and as I know from the last 10 years him, he fight for his success. He fight for the so many doing the great job in the UNO from for youth from Brahma Kumaris as a rep of our institution. So that's all I want to say. Next session will be Dr. Swaminathan. He is a great intellectual personality. I want to say that all the students should attend that.
Sure, sir.
That's
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. And yeah, so like every Monday, it's like, a bombardment of some amazing topics by some great achievers, some great dignitaries. So yeah, even in the next Monday, guys, don't miss the next session on the next Monday. We'll catch you guys, on the next Monday with the next dignitary. I mean, yeah, so make sure that you're also informing it to the other friends and your loved ones, beloved ones, because this is a session which is going to be making you and shaping you into a real you, I mean the best version of you. So it would be great if you can get everybody into the next session. Yeah, so I could see like some more students again commenting that I don't have a official registration ID. So guys, don't worry at all. So you can just put your official name there, and that's it. We'll be taking your names into consideration. So yeah, it's okay, no problem. Just keep putting your name if you don't have a registration ID. So even that's fine. Okay. No problem. So I hope everybody is done putting their names, their IDs, and had a very great session today. And yeah, so I mean, today we had a fun, engaging, and an absolutely illuminating session. I mean, with the dignitary, yeah, to get yourself, I mean, infused and injected with the exceedingly thumping momentum, to transcend yourselves to the unparalleled horizons today. I mean, I could see like so many people very excited. So yeah, I mean, that was the session today, on the topic utilizing intellectual skills for personal and professional success. And I hope everybody enjoyed the session a lot, with a lot of information coming up on board, which is like practically, should be implemented, I mean, by everybody. And I hope everybody enjoyed the session. And yeah, with that, I would like to thank our head division of student welfare, Dr. Saurabh Lakanpal sir, for joining us in this session. And I would also like to thank our eminent guest zonal coordinator of Youth Wing Punjab Zone, Mr. Arun Kaushik sir, for joining us in here. And I would also like to thank our eminent personality, Brahma Kumari Center Coordinator, South Sweden United Nations representative and volunteer, for joining us here, Mr. Jignesh sir. Thank you so much, sir, once again. And I would also like to thank Radhika ma'am, for always joining us here and coordinating on both the ends, yeah, with all the things, all the bits and pieces on both the ends. And thank you so much. And yeah, last but not the least, a very, very special thanks to Prajapita Brahma Kumaris Ishwarya Vishwavidyalaya for enlightening and enriching our students on this 7th day of the self-management session. And I hope everybody had a very great session. And yeah, with that, I would like to conclude and see you guys, on the next Monday. And yeah, that's it for today. And guys, take care of yourselves. And, let's see all of you back again on next Monday. Yeah, with that, I'm Chanda Harshita, host for this evening, officially signing off. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you, sir.